I now give the floor to the distinguished representative of Kyrgyzstan to introduce an address by the head of state.
Excellency, Mr. President, I have an honor to introduce a pre-recorded statement by His Excellency Mr. Sooronbai Jeenbekov, President of the Kyrgyz Republic. Thank you.
Secretary General, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Kyrgyz Republic, I would like to convey to you the best wishes on the occasion of the 75th anniversary of the UN. It is impossible to imagine the world without the UN today. The organization has become the most important instrument in resolving socio-economic, financial, and cultural issues. The agencies, funds, and programs of the UN are very relevant and are effective partners for developing states. On behalf of the people of the Kyrgyz Republic, I would like to thank the United Nations for your support to all of our reforms. Mr. President, the topic of the debates does reflect very accurately the worrying situation in the world. The COVID-19 pandemic has reminded us how closely we are interlinked. I would like to express my full support to the Secretary General of the UN, support to him for his appeal to cease fire all over the world and to mobilize international efforts in order to combat the pandemic. As of today, we in Kyrgyzstan has had more than 44,000 cases of the disease, and unfortunately we lost 1,063 of our citizens. The 30th of July of this year was declared the day of mourning in my country. Thanks to the unity of the people of Kyrgyzstan and the heroic work by our medical professionals and volunteers, we managed to significantly diminish the spread of the virus. It was also important for us in this regard to have received the assistance from WHO, UN, and the fund created by it very quickly, as well as support by the international donors. Also, significant support was extended by our allies and strategical partners. It's very important for us to make sure that the assistance continues. And of key importance here is ensuring that there's universal access to the vaccine. Distinguished participants, the pandemic impedes the implementation of the 2030 agenda and has significantly deepened the external debt crisis. We welcome the decision made by the G20 and the international financial institutions to suspend debt payments. In May of this year, at a high-level UN event, we proposed that the following mechanism be used: in-depth restructuring of external debt in exchange for sustainable development projects. And we hope that there will be support to this initiative of ours. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kyrgyz Republic supports the efforts made by the Secretary General, Mr. Guterres, to reform the organization. Of particular importance for us is enhancing the effectiveness of the Security Council, of the General Assembly, and of the Economic and Social Council. We attach a great importance to ensuring security and economic development, human rights, the rule of law, and democracy. Kyrgyzstan is running for the Human Rights Council and for the elected membership of the Security Council for the upcoming periods, and we would like to hope that there will be a wide support to our candidacy. Mr. President, the Kyrgyz Republic is a depository of the Treaty on the Nuclear Weapons-Free Zone in Central Asia, and we therefore advocate for strengthening our approaches to nuclear disarmament and nuclear non-proliferation. Terrorism and extremism are also a serious threat for our world. The central role in coordinating the efforts of the international community in combating the threat of terrorism should be played by the UN. We are committed to the effective implementation of the UN Global Counterterrorism Strategy. We also welcome the appointment of the regional coordinator for the UN Office of Counterterrorism located in Bishkek, and we stand ready to support the coordinator. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyrgyzstan undertook commitments to attain the 7th and 13th of the SDG goals. In November last year, we ratified the Paris Climate Change Agreement. An important step for us in implementing these commitments we see in developing the green economy. We are endeavoring to become a country with environmentally clean production and clean energy. We intend to gradually lower the use we made of traditional sources of energy. We think it's important for us to use our hydro energy potential to do it through building hydroelectric plants and participating in the CASA 1000 international project. This will help us save the water resources for the irrigation needs of our neighbors and for the sustainable development of the entire region. The Kyrgyz Republic needs the support of the international community in order to adapt to the negative consequences of climate change. Mr. President, climate change reduces glaciers and the water resources in Kyrgyzstan, and this could lead to a shortage of fresh water, could pose a threat to human health, land degradation, and economic risks. In this regard, we advocate for the implementation of those projects which are aimed at studying the issue of glacier melting and protecting the glaciers. We also think it's very important to preserve the mountainous ecosystems in those areas where the glaciers form. And in this regard, we have launched a number of global initiatives. We have conducted 2 global forums on protecting the snow leopard and its mountainous habitat. We passed a resolution on the role of the international community in order to prevent this threat of radiation in Central Asia. In August last year, the group of Friends of Mountainous Countries was created, and today it has 23 countries in its ranks. It is also important to safeguard the biodiversity. Therefore, Kyrgyzstan, at this present session of the General Assembly, we put forward a new draft resolution. It is called Nature Knows No Borders. Cross-border cooperation is a key factor in the preservation and sustainable use of biodiversity. And we hope that there will be support to this initiative of ours. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kyrgyz Republic attaches special importance to regional cooperation in Central Asia. Cooperation amongst our countries is developing dynamically. We actively participate in regional dialogue platforms at the highest level in order to resolve the existing issues. One of the main goals here is to removing barriers to economic cooperation, to do this in order to ensure that we enhance the well-being of our peoples. Of vital importance for us is developing the system of transport and communication corridors, logistical hubs and terminals. We need to restore the main axes that existed in the Asian Great Silk Route. The building and the launching of the China-Kyrgyzstan-Uzbekistan Railroad will be a meaningful contribution into linking Asia and Europe. Mr. President, we are committed to the principles of the rule of law and human rights. The strategic document which defines our development is a national strategy on sustainable development which covers the period up to 2040. Its main thrust is creating the rule of law and ensuring the laws are abided by, and to doing this in the interest of each citizen. We in Kyrgyzstan, with international support, are now conducting a large-scale reform of the judiciary. We're also successfully implementing projects on regional development, ensuring there is fresh water supply, and we are digitizing government services. On the 4th of October of this year, we're going to have scheduled elections into the parliament. We've invited international observers on that, including the ones from OSCE, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and CIS. We intend to make every effort to make sure that the elections are transparent and competitive and use contemporary technologies. I thank you for your attention.
On behalf of the General Assembly, I wish to thank the President of the Kyrgyz Republic for the statement just made. I now give the floor to the distinguished